I'm going to go ahead and let my colleagues introduce themselves, including my colleague Liz, who is just joining us shortly. So why don't we start with Michelle? Hi, Michelle. Go ahead and say hello, please.
Hi there. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm Michelle Paganucci. I'm actually based out in Sacramento, California area, and I work with Norman pretty closely. I head up the partnerships and community engagement team. So some of you may have joined GetSetUp through one of our many state partners. We have a lot of Michiganders usually that join us, New Yorkers, Washingtonians, folks from all over. We just recently signed a partnership we're very excited about with the county, the Orange County, not the county of Los Angeles, that's another one. But we have partnerships all across the United States. Those are the ones that my team handles. And the way Norman and I work together really is bringing all of you that are learners and are interested. You may have come from our partnership, you may have not, to come onto our platform. So I help support him in that effort. And yeah, excited to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. And I'm going to then introduce you to my other colleague who's with us today, who's Liz, who I had the extreme pleasure of actually meeting in person. The only GetSetUp person that I've actually been with in real life, not just on the screen. So welcome, Liz, all the way from Brazil.
Hi, everyone. I'm Liz. I work in our marketing department and I manage our content and talk to the press. So one of the things I really do with our learners is I interview them to share their learner stories and experiences, which is a great way for our partners to understand how their community is using our platform. And it's also an exciting opportunity for people who are interested to be featured in the press. I know one of our interest group leaders, Melanie, was just featured. Things for people who like to talk to the press and enjoy those kinds of ideas. So any ideas you have for marketing, or if you'd like to contribute to our blog, I help run that. And I'm always looking for new and exciting content from our community to put up there.
All right. Thank you, Liz. So let's go on with our program. So what are we going to talk about? Maybe your first question. So let's go ahead and get into that. So basically, well, not what are we going to talk about, what are you going to talk about? Maybe that's what you're wondering, because sometimes I talk to people and they say, well, this idea of hosting a group sounds interesting, but I don't have any skills. I don't know what to lead a group in. And the reality is that it really can be just about anything. The only requirement is that it's something that probably will be of interest to an older adult. And that doesn't eliminate too many things, let me tell you. So that's what, if you have an interest in something and you like talking about it and sharing your experiences with it, most likely other people do too. And you do not have to be an expert. You don't have to have any kind of certification, or you don't have to be a teacher or anybody you just have to have an interest. So we really make it as easy as possible for you to get started. And then when you actually run your group, there are different ways that people run them. And those of you that have taken GetSetUp classes and GetSetUp interest groups before, you probably have seen that some of them look like a class. You basically sit in a group and you see slides and you have some chances to ask questions, but most of it is a presentation. You can do it that way. However, these interest groups, I think probably more so than not, are often run as discussions where people will go back and forth and just have a friendly discussion. Or you may decide you want to have a little of both. Any way you want to do it is really up to you, but you probably want to at some point engage the other people, because that's really what interest groups are like. Everybody gets a chance to participate. Not everybody will speak during the session, but you want to give them the opportunity to do so. Now, you might be thinking, well, this sounds like a lot of time, and I have a lot of other things going on in my life, as we all do. So let me just put your mind at ease. You can put in as little as 1 hour a week or 1 hour every other week. So we really, we understand that you have other things going on in your life. We're not, this is not meant to be a job. It's not meant to be something that you dread having to do. we really hope it will be something that you will look forward to, because you'll be meeting a bunch of people that have the same interests that you do. And probably most of these people are not people that you're going to run into in your neighborhood. They might be, especially if you live in Michigan, because we have a lot of people in our community from Michigan, but you will meet people from all over the United States and sometimes other countries as well. So it's kind of nice to have that happening, but the time commitment is intentionally very light. So I just want to make sure that you know that up front. Now, we do ask you that when you decide to start your own group, that you stick with it for at least 3 months. And now, the reason we do that is because if you've ever looked at our schedule, you see that there's a lot of things to choose from. And when we add a session, I mean, we have, I don't know what the number is now, but it's probably in the hundreds of sessions that we offer over the week. So when we add something new, as you can imagine, it takes a little time to promote it and to make people aware that this new group or this new session is available. So that's why we ask you to stick around for at least 3 months. And when you hear from Arlene in a little while, many of our leaders have been doing this for much longer than that because they really enjoy it, and they just enjoy the interaction. And of course, they enjoy the topic because they're the ones that chose it in the first place. So I think that's what makes this a little different from things you may remember about being in school when you had required classes and you had to take things that you have literally no interest in at all. That's not what this is about. This is about you choosing the topic and you choosing the time and the day when the session takes place. So let's talk about exactly when your session will take place. Now, when you indicate an interest to do a session, and you probably, hopefully you've noticed by now, but if not, I'll show it to you in a little while. There is a little link on the top of our website that says apply to host a session. And that's how many of the group leaders get started. And when I see that someone has submitted a request to do a session, I will usually schedule either a phone call or a Zoom meeting of some type where we'll talk about the viability of doing the session. And then after that first call, assuming everything goes well, I will then arrange a day and a time for the interest group leader, which is you, to talk to one of my other colleagues, usually either Ali or Molly. They work in programming operations, and their main goal is to find a great time for you to do your group, because as I said before, there's a lot of things on the schedule. Some of them are maybe a little similar to each other, and we want to give you the best chance for success. So we don't want to schedule you at a time when there's too much else going on, and we also don't want to schedule it at a time when there might be something similar that could take people away from joining your group. So that session usually takes place maybe a few days or maybe a week after we have that initial interaction.